Okay. Okay, there's my thumbnail. Alright, boys. Let me fix this real quick. Change up my face cam. Alright. What's up, boys? I've been preparing like a week for this video. I've been researching. I've been getting crafty like a veteran, as Lucas Tracy would say. And I've been making other videos, but I've had my eyes dead set on this one video. So this is the next fights to make in each UFC division. So first off, for flyweight, my GOAT, Steve Erceg versus Asu Almabayev. So I think that Steve Erceg, he needs a little step down, as people have been saying and memeing about, just talking about. Steve Erceg's been given some dogs, people that have been top level in this division, and he's looked pretty good in it, but just hasn't done enough. Steve Erceg really is a parallel, I think, to Corey Sandhagen. I think that Steve Erceg is going to get some flashy knockouts eventually as he fights more NPCs now that he's lost. But will he ever make it to that top level that we all know he can? Hopefully. I like this dude. He's a nice dude. So I think his way to win this fight against Asu Almabayev is to make it a dogfight. This fight will benefit him because it helps to build him. It's a little NPC Asu Almabayev. A little NPC Dagestan Asian dude with a Russian-ish name. And this is going to be an Apex main fight. Or maybe a co-main. This is an Apex fight, and this will be Steve Erceg's first fight into becoming an Apex Predator. Yes, Sean Strickland route. We're going full Apex Predator. Steve Erceg's going to be on a 5-fight win streak against slightly good NPCs. Now, Asu Almabayev, he's not really that much of an NPC. He is very good. He has a great chance to prove himself, prove his wrestling, prove his dominance against a high-level opponent in Steve Erceg. I see this fight. Obviously we think, Asu Almabayev, he's lost some. These Dagestani fighters that they've lost fights before, they lose like half of their aura. But this fight kind of reminds me of Corey Sandhagen versus Umnar. What if Asu Almabayev makes Steve Erceg overthink, and even though the takedowns, like Corey Sandhagen, like Corey Sandhagen against Umar, the takedowns for Asu Almabayev aren't that successful. Steve Erceg might overthink and overcompensate. When we know he's a better striker, he's going to focus on the wrestling. Might overthink and lose the fight to a decision just because he didn't bring out his full arsenal. So that's why I think Steve Erceg should make it a dogfight. This win would put Asu Almabayev into contender's position. A lot of people are saying Joshua Van versus Steve Erceg. Honestly, I don't think it's the time. I'm not for all this UFC bullshit where you don't have contenders fight contenders until it's a title shot. But Steve Erceg, I feel like, might get chinned by Joshua Van. And this fight in general, beating Steve Erceg will put you into title contention. So if Steve Erceg wins this, Joshua Van, after Joshua Van wins his next fight, yeah. But I think this is the fight to make next. The second flyweight fight, we're going to have Kai Asakura. He's kind of due for a fight. He fought Pantoja a while ago versus Alex Perez. So Kai Asakura, very good striker. He has high power. I'm not sure if his grappling's up to par. He got submitted easily against Pantoja. His takedown defense in the first round looked pretty good. But Alex Perez, this isn't a takedown artist. This isn't a submission machine. It's Alex Perez. So on Kai Asakura's part, this is a chance to prove himself as UFC caliber and prove himself as a top contender to either fight whoever beats Pantoja or rematch Pantoja once he gains the skills. He's a young dude too. It's Kai Asakura. We got him at the right time. It's not this, not like MVP, where he could have been champ if you got him earlier. Arguably. this is Kai Asakura, pretty young dude in his prime. So let's hone these skills and make him an actual title contender that can put up with some top dogs instead of getting mauled by grappling. My advice to him, go for the knockout. Show you have the ability to chin someone who many cannot. Alex Perez is hard to chin. He's a gritty flyweight fighter. Kai Asakura, he has special in his striking. I'm not talking special ed. I'm talking he got power at flyweight. Like, big power. Could knock him out. For Alex Perez, he's a high-skill gatekeeper, kind of like a flyweight Dan Ige. He has great striking and solid ground defense. So the ground game's not going to be too much of an issue for either of them. Maybe Alex Perez will mix it up and try and submit Asakura. Maybe Asakura, he's working on his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling. Maybe he'll come out and try and show that. Show that, yeah, Pantoja beat me, but I can beat Alex Perez with this grappling. I don't think that's the way. I think he should knock him out. But Alex Perez was beating Taira on the feet until the takedown injury. He was beating Tatsuro Taira. This is a good fighter who loses to Asian fighters. So Kai Asakura might cook him. And he might show Kai Asakura that there's levels to this. You're coming from Ryzen. You're a great fighter, but are you UFC caliber? Have you done what you need to do? Is your fan base valid? This huge Japanese fan base that he's bringing in, Japanese or Korean? I'm praying it's Japanese. I think Japanese, yeah. This huge, Kai Asakura, this is huge Japanese fan base that he's bringing in. Is it valid? Or is he just beating up cans and Ryzen? We're going to find that out. And it's not too high in the rankings. This will be a fight to prove yourself for Alex Perez as a gatekeeper. Maybe even better than a gatekeeper. And Kai Asakura as someone who can beat a gatekeeper. He can check his grappling. Alex Perez can check his grappling. Or his skill with less weapons. What I mean by that? Kai Asakura has soccer kicks. This dude has stuff that's illegal in the UFC. And that seems to be his most successful finishes, using those weapons. So can he use the weapons he's allowed to at the same level? I think so. But we'll find out if they make this fight. I think it's a great fight to make. So for bantamweight, Marcus McGee versus Rob Font. If you know Marcus McGee, dude, this dude's fire. He's so fun to watch. He's a really promising up-and-comer. He got huge power and some nasty combos. He fights like his name's Marcus McGee, bro. This is exactly what you'd expect out of a guy named Marcus McGee. He kind of looks like a grappler, though. I was going to say him that looks like that, but I don't know. When I look at him, I see, like, some crazy jiu-jitsuer. Nah, this dude's a striker. He beat up a really solid fighter, Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez is a dude who, I'm not going to lie, I thought he was going to beat Jose Aldo. So, Rob Font, this would be a great test for Marcus McGee. And it's a breakout fight. A finish, he'd probably land a shot in the top 5. And once you're in the top 5 in bantamweight, we're talking about actual title contention. We're talking about fighting a grappler or fighting a Corey Sandhagen, an Umar Corey Sandhagen, and then fighting for the belt. And then Rob Font. This is a dude, it's Rob Font. He got slick boxing. He got dangerous ground and pound. He's a dog. He also has a great chin. He can power check McGee, or McGee can show his power. He's been a contender for years. I'd say he's not a gatekeeper. I say he's like 2 fights away from a title shot at all times. This is a dude that's gone with like the top of the top, and a dude who a lot of fighters prove their shot fighting. And I think that's Marcus McGee's chance. And it's great name value in this fight. So this could be fight night main event even. Probably fight night co-main. And it would be like a prelim highlight fight or a opener to a main card of a pay-per-view. Another bantamweight fight. We got my boy Peyton Talbot versus Ricky Turcios. fuck Ricky Turcios. This dude's annoying. So Peyton Talbot, he got to bring back his fluffy hair. He got to bring back the afro so he can regain his aura, gain back his power. Stop taking those back shots by Frank Ocean, bro. You got to punch, not take the shots in your ass, the cum shots. Stop doing that. Stop taking cum shots. He's a very exciting striker, and in my opinion, he just needs to be less nonchalant and needs to be more hungry for the win. You can't let a dude just beat you when you're losing. You can't give up immediately or just go, yeah, this is how the fight's going. Bro, pull out some crazy shit. Even if he's like grappling fucking you, try and pull off a crazy submission off your back. Even if you don't get it, you're gonna look cool. And if you go out in a finish, my opinion, it's way better than just letting yourself lose. Even if you take less damage, which arguably, do you take less damage in a decision where you get wrestle fucked and pounded? He was getting his head smashed into the ground. It was a good lesson. He's a young dude, though. It's Peyton Talbot. We all love him. He lost his aura. He'll gain it back. He's going to be good. He can show off possible jiu-jitsu improvements or get another KO. And this is a great fight to help him build resume and experience. I don't know if you've gone down Peyton Talbot's Twitter, except for the gay porn repost, the vape in his asshole. I don't know if that's on his Twitter. He was a wrestler. He grew up high school wrestling, and I assume he was good. Probably was varsity. I don't think he wrestled states or anything. Maybe he did. But this dude does have wrestling This dude does have wrestling experience. And it's not like he's a complete can on the ground that has never fought. He just lost to a great jiu-jitsu and a great judo. Judo fighter. So Ricky Turcios, my favorite fighter. He's annoying as fuck. Against Raul Rosas Jr., I wanted Rosas to chin him, bro. I want to get him out of here. I don't think he belongs in the UFC. Against Rosas Jr., Rosas tried to, shake hands with him, fist bump, and he just smacked it away. This is a dude he's a little can with a toddler temper, and he throws tantrums. Just seeing him makes me want to throw a tantrum. His face is ugly. He pisses me off. I hope he gets knocked out by Peyton Talbot. I don't think he has any threat to Peyton Talbot. He's not a good jiu-jitsuer. If he beat Peyton Talbot in the jiu-jitsu, that's when it's time to say, yo, Peyton, we might fucking cut you, bro. When you lose to Ricky Turcios, you're cooked, bro. Another bantamweight fight. So, I guess this is open weight. So, Mario Batista versus Francis Ngannou. I think this is a very deserving fight and a great step up for Mario Batista. He really deserves this for the high skill he showed against Jose Aldo. This is a dog. He's not scared to bring the fight wherever he goes. And he has great, exciting wars on the fence. This is a dude where you see him clinch on the fence, bro, you can't look away. It's some of the best fighting you've ever seen. Most technical, powerful fighting. And honestly, even though he's bantamweight, I think he could beat Francis Ngannou. There's a high chance that Mario Batista KOs Francis, I think. So this fight definitely could cement his status and put him 4 or 5 fights away from the title if he gets a win. So maybe even 3 or 4. Ideally, if I think we're being fair, I'd say 8 to 10, but we'll be easy on the kid. So I'll say 4 to 5 fights, 4 to 5 wins against heavyweights. Maybe you'll get a title shot if there's no other contenders. So Francis Ngannou, genuinely, jokes aside, the UFC needs to cut their losses, bring him back, and pay him more. It's Francis Ngannou, bro. He was one of your highest earners. Why? Why are we not paying him fairly? Why are we paying John Jones all this money and not paying people like Francis Ngannou and Tom Aspinall? Just rewarding John Jones for fighting, for not fighting, for ducking. And against Mario Batista, he's going to be checked on his grappling, and he might get chin checked. Mario Batista got that power on the fence. He got those nasty knees, nasty elbows. Did his time away from the UFC improve or worsen it? We'll find that out. And there's a great chance that he will fight the GOAT of MMA and violence, Mario Batista, in his first fight. Oh, yeah. The GOAT, though, I was trying to remember what I said. I remember now. The GOAT of MMA and violence, Shamil the Blob Gaziev, the fucking GOAT of all martial arts. So Francis Ngannou versus Shamil. After Francis beats Batista, if he can get past that beast of a fighter, that big chihuahua. So for featherweight, we got Hyder Emil versus Nathaniel Wood. You might not know these guys. You've probably heard of Hyder Emil. So Hyder Emil, this is a dude coming off a split decision to William Gomez. Huge prospect. William Gomez, I think everyone thought Gomez was going to win. At least I did. Gomez is a great fighter, and Hyder Emil beat him. I watched the fight. He was beating his ass. It shouldn't have been split. So this dude likes to brawl, and he's a high output striker. He really likes throwing a lot of punches like he's Max Holloway. He's not Max Holloway, but he has very high punches, not a lot of power, got a sus chin. Most fights he's been in, he got rocked or got his head snapped back, but recovered. I don't know if he's been dropped, but he recovers when he's hurt good. And he's undefeated. He's really good cardio and rhythm, though. That's why I respect the most. He'll push a pace like Max Holloway, and he'll keep pushing it till the end of the 15 minutes. Or possibly the 25 minutes if we see him in that later. So Nathaniel Wood, this is a dude with more experience. He's been in the UFC longer, but he's been beat and he has been knocked out before. He's coming off a win to Morgan Charrier. Morgan Charrier, that's a dude who's good too. That I would have said Hyder Emil versus Morgan Charrier, and Charrier won that, but he didn't. Nathaniel Wood shoots takedowns often, and he has great power. So he could either chin check Hyder Emil or grapple check him. Either a finish by Nathaniel Wood or a decision from Hyder. Maybe even a TKO from Hyder. I don't think he's going to knock him out, though. Hyder doesn't have crazy power. Now for a bigger fight. Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Sterling asked for it. I think it's a very good fight. And honestly, this would be a banger. This would be a great opening fight to a main card of a pay-per-view. So we got Brian Ortega. Definitely needs to get back in shape. I'd want to see him come out with a Jamal Hill beer belly. Excuse me. I don't want to see him with a beer belly. I don't want to see him looking fat, looking pregnant. And he does have great jiu-jitsu. It's Brian Ortega. And he has a much larger frame than Aljamain Sterling. Much taller dude, a wider dude, bigger dude in general. So it'll be a test for Aljamain. And he has higher skill striking, potentially. I think he has higher skill striking. And he's not someone who will be easy to hold down. It's Brian Ortega. You can't hold this dude down. If you're going to beat him, you got to knock him down a bunch. And Aljamain Sterling? Will he? He wins by holding everyone down. I think it's going to be a great test because it's a bigger dude. It's in a higher weight class than you're used to. You're coming into featherweight. You got to show that you can beat the biggest of the featherweights. That you're not just going to get beat by Brian Ortega, even if you're better than him, just based off physical attributes. And Aljamain Sterling, he has the lighter man's skill, the lighter man's speed, and he's a decision machine. He arguably beat Movsar Evloev, which I thought Aljamain Sterling won that fight in his last fight. So he's gone against a great featherweight grappler, and I thought he won. I'm very surprised Movsar got that win. And if he can beat Brian Ortega, it'll set him for top 5 contention. So maybe fight Movsar in title fight. Maybe even eventually fight Volk or Diego Lopez. Maybe fight Movsar again for the title shot. Any of those options are great. Featherweight is pretty stacked division. It's getting less and less as people are moving up to lightweight, but Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling is going to be a banger. which I never thought I would say for an Aljamain Sterling fight. So lightweight, we got Ignacio Bahamondes versus Rafael Fiziev. I'm cooking, guys. You gotta admit, I'm fucking cooking. So for Ignacio Bahamondes, it's a great way to propel himself into contender level, as most of these fights are. He gets to prove himself. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He finished Shaylin Turner pretty easily. Put him into retirement. And this would be a great test in striking and heart. He's not going to put Fiziev away early. He's not going to put him away easily. Gaethje couldn't put away Fiziev in either of his fights. So it'll be a huge test in heart, cardio, and his striking. So it's a chance to redeem any losses and show full improvement. Bahamondes is a dude not unfamiliar with loss. He has lost fights before. But sometimes when a fighter comes back after multiple losses and they go on a win streak like this, they're unbeatable. And I think this is the right fight to make, with Fiziev coming off the Gaethje loss and Bahamondes coming off the Turner win. Rafael Fiziev, it's a great way to propel himself into contender level 2. And obviously he's been a contender, but he can prove that, yeah, he belonged against Gaethje. Yeah, he still got it. Even though he got injured and took like a year, 2 years away from the sport, he still has this. He's still a pro fighter, and he's still top of the division in lightweight. Arguably the most stacked division. I think welterweight is right now, but he could get a knockout, or he could dominate to redeem his 3-fight loss streak. So this is a high risk, high reward for both of these guys, and it'll cement one of them as a great fighter, and the other is going to go back down. Fiziev might be talking about retirement after this if he loses this, or be going against like much less high level competition. Bahamondes setting his hype train back. So he's tough. Bahamondes will have to dig hard to get this win, which is why I think it would be a firefight. I think that both of them would definitely go all out. It would be a very good fight of the night. So welterweight, my favorite division. Brian Battle versus Michael Venom Page, MVP, my GOAT. So Brian Battle, he's a bit sloppy in striking, but in the clinch, he has great Muay Thai striking, great control in the clinch. He's really good at those battles. He's good coming up close and just beating the shit out of you. He uses his power. He got solid takedown and ground game. Not the best we've seen, but he got it there. Definitely better than MVP in my opinion. So he's increasingly improving in each fight. He's getting super hyped. There's TikTok edits of him a bunch. I'm hyped about this dude. I think he's going to be a great prospect. And he has hella high power. And he can pose a real threat to MVP. But Michael Venom Page. Brian Battle got sloppy striking. That's what you don't want against MVP. If Brian Battle, I think the way to win for him is shooting takedowns, even if it's boring. Clinching, even if it's boring. But MVP, if he chooses to strike with MVP might make him miss a bunch and beat him in a decision or maybe even knock him out. If MVP's takedown and clinch defense holds up, which it is good, and we have seen, not the best. It is his weakness, but his defense is good. He can make Battle miss due to the sloppy striking, like I was talking about. It's MVP. He's going to be dancing and joking with Brian Battle, and I think Brian Battle is a dude that'll play into it. He smiles a lot when he fights. He jokes. He gets fucking mad. Maybe he'll say, no, fuck that shit and get mad, but I was fucking beating your ass, you pussy. That's Brian Battle, bro. Top level striking in MMA, all of MMA. And he can catch Brian Battle on the back foot. That's how I see MVP winning. Either a decision or Brian Battle backs up, boom, right hand, MVP wins. So either Brian Battle clinch work, groundwork, maybe even some elbows, bro, or MVP winning like MVP does. So welterweight, a fight that matters more, arguably. Yaquin, Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. Oh my god, bro. I'm sorry. It's a little late. Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. Joaquin Buckley. You know what I'm talking about. So Joaquin Buckley is undefeated, and he seems unstoppable at welterweight. He has so much power at this weight class and so much speed, and he is genuinely beating the fuck out of all these dudes that he is going against. I was going to say versus Ian Gary, but Ian Gary is booked versus Carlos Prates. So, Joaquin Buckley, he has huge power, very entertaining fighter. All his fights are fun. He has the coolest finish in the UFC. This is the dude with the best finish in the UFC, I think, the best knockout. And he's constantly improving. He's been getting better and better. Looks like a top dog. I think he's going to fight for the belt. And my prediction would be Joaquin Buckley to beat Kamaru Usman. He's also very likable. He's a funny-ass dude. Check out his Instagram. He jokes a lot. And he just seems like a dude you'd like to chill with. No homo. He seems like one of the boys. And a good win over Usman would gain him a lot more fans and give argument for a title shot. Even if Kamaru Usman is a little washed, you get a title shot if you beat him, most likely. So for Kamaru Usman, he has to prove he still has it. This is a fighter that is one of the greatest of all time. This is Kamaru Usman. And yeah, the fall he's taken, not that big of a fall, but the fall he's taken hasn't been the best to witness, but he is still great. And he's an insane wrestler. Joaquin Buckley is a good wrestler. And I think Joaquin Buckley could hold up against Kamaru Usman. But Kamaru Usman is insane at wrestling in every way. And he got that dog in him. Like I wrote. So middleweight. We got Anthony Hernandez versus Robert Whittaker. Might be a little too early for Anthony Hernandez, but I think it's good. So Anthony Hernandez, he's really well-rounded, but leans towards jiu-jitsu game. He's a great contender that just got a lot of hype this year. A lot of people are rooting for him this year, and it's a great chance to prove his name to even more people, prove himself. He needs to show a level of aggressiveness and physicality to beat Whittaker, like Hamzat did, like DDP did. You got to be physical with Whittaker, and this fucking monster Whittaker who beats the fuck out of people, and he's great high-level striker and very high-level sneaky fighter. You just gotta brute force his ass. That's how you beat him. Robert Whittaker, he can show wrestling improvements. He got beat by Hamzat, like the best grappler in the UFC, almost by far. He got his jaw broken versus Shemaev, so it seems like a weakness right now. So this would be his chance to prove himself and to show, yo, I'm not a can. I got caught in the grappling exchange. It happens to everyone. If you participate in jiu-jitsu, you have been tapped before many, many times. And unfortunately, he broke his jaw. But it happens. That's what happens in a fight. He got sneaky kicks. It's Whittaker. They might be a problem for Fluffy, as it always is for people. I could see Robert Whittaker sneaking a head kick, knocking Fluffy's ass out. So Whittaker's a crafty vet, and he can school Fluffy, or have a war with him. Maybe some ground and pound from both. Big firefight with lots of blood. And he's a much better striker. And I said size. I think Robert Whittaker is bigger than him. So, Fluffy, you gotta be physical against a bigger man. So let's see if you can. That rhymed. So for light heavyweight, we got Bogdan Guskov versus Azamat Murzakanov. So these are two dudes with great power in light heavyweight. They've been knocking everyone out that they fight. Bogdan Guskov looks like Anthony Smith, but got the power of a semi-truck. Azamat Murzakanov, he looks like he's a wrestler, but he's been fucking knocking everyone out. So, two dudes, they both have submission skills, and they beat the fuck out of people. So they're like the same person, except this one's skinny, this one's kind of fat. So Bogdan Guskov is less fat. He has more muscle. So I think that he might be able to push a higher pressure. Even though muscle gasses you out. I think that this shows he probably trains cardio more because he's leaner. And I think that Azamat usually gasses in the second. So if he can't knock out Guskov, Guskov can probably win a decision or knock him out if he's gassed. And then Azamat, he's a big boy. Big boy. He's almost a heavyweight. Light heavyweight, but bro, he looks like a heavyweight. He looks like Shamil Ghazi, my goat. So he remains dangerous with high power, even when gassed. He doesn't just fully turn off. He can knock you out when he's tired, and he can do this to Guskov. He has slick shots in boxing. He is a fast boxer, and he's flexible even though he's fat. He fights like he's not fat, except when he's gassing out. And he lands like fucking flying knees, bro. What dude with this build is landing flying knees? It's Azamat. This is bound to be a banger, and it's bound to end with a KO. This is a great prelim fight to hype prelim, maybe a last fight of the prelim on a main card. Maybe even a main card opener. I don't know how I'd feel about that. It'd have to be a banger card with like this one fight. Everyone's like, and then they show out. It's a firefight, and someone gets knocked the fuck out. And whoever wins this, they can get a big jump on. It's light heavyweight. You got the people at the top going through a rotating circle. It's a great chance to sneak in the rankings and fight some great guys. I could see the winner of this fighting either Carlos Solberg or Khalil Roundtree. The winner of Khalil versus Jamal Hill. The loser of Khalil versus Jamal Hill, I mean. Jamal's cooked. If he loses that, then loses this, though. Heavyweight. It's the most obvious one. Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. I didn't even have to write anything for this because, dude, it's so obvious why. John Jones, stop fucking ducking Tom, bro. Just retire or fight him. Tom Aspinall seems obviously like the best fighter in heavyweight, and he has more power, more size, more speed than anyone we've seen John Jones fight. We never saw John Jones fight in Ngannou, and in a perfect world, we see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones, and we see the wife beater, EPO user, steroid user, not just EPO, full-on steroid user, wife beating, not a negative, homosexual, not negative, just putting it out there, get knocked the fuck out by Tom Aspinall. Or you got the greatest heel story in UFC, a genuinely horrible person in John Jones beating a good dude that we all like in Tom Aspinall. Imagine he just kicks him and knocks him the fuck out, bro. It would likely be a decision or a wrestling. Tom Aspinall has great grappling, bro. Just let him prove his shot. Stop being such a little bitch, bro. John Jones, bro, fuck you. You're holding up the entire heavyweight division. The fact that you don't fight Tom Aspinall is straight up disrespectful to the entire UFC. And I think that Dana White should pay John Jones his share. I don't think John Jones deserves it, but I want to see him get knocked the fuck out by Tommy Boy. So, Tom Aspinall, this dude's a future heavyweight GOAT, especially if he beats John Jones. We just need some good fighters. We need some actual good heavyweight fighters. I think that Taliesin Teixeira, this new dude, he gets beat by Tom Aspinall easy. All the dudes coming up get beat easily. So, why not fight him, John Jones? Why are you scared? Why are you a little bitch? You're supposed to be the greatest fighter of all time. That's what people have said for years. You're just a little pussy, bro. Honestly, I'd knock out John Jones. And in response, he would probably beat the fuck out of either a girl I'm dating or he'd track me down, find my family, and beat up all the women in my house. Fuck you, John Jones. You're a bitch. And that's my video. I hope you guys liked it. Yeah, these are just some fights that I think are very important to make. If you think there's any other fights I should make, please let me know. It would be great to hear from you guys. And I hope you loved the video. Hope you stuck through it. And if you did stick through it, even if this is in 10 months, even if it's been a few years since I uploaded this video, if you made it through the whole video and you're here, comment enchilada, please. Enchilada, that's all I want to hear. Enchilada in the chat, chalupa, something like that. Enchilada or chalupa, you pick. Alright, see you guys. Love y'all. I'm out. Here's my 35-minute video. Hope you guys liked it. Bye-bye.